an example that helps people sometimes understand this. So what we're doing is we're trying to expand your nervous system's capacity to hold these different challenges. And we want it to match that of your goals. For most of us, like our goals, the nervous system we would need to have the relationship we desire or the business we desire, our nervous system is nowhere close to that. It does not have the capacity, like at the gym, right? Like you might want to be lifting 100-pound dumbbells. You are nowhere close to doing that. You're going to have to gradually build to that. Yeah. If you went straight to the 100, you would hurt yourself very severely.
Totally.
Right? And you would have to take significant time off. And like a good example of where this happens, this nervous system capacity thing is, this is going to seem so off subject, but yeah.
I said titty muscles. So yeah, we're good in terms of getting off subject. You're good. Yeah.
Think of like the lottery. People who win the lottery. Have you ever seen those statistics of like the percentage of people who lose that money?
You're right. They usually lose it. Yeah, there's a whole
almost always lose it. The statistics are crazy. I don't know the numbers, so I'm not going to fake them.
Yeah.
But I know listening, go look. The statistics are crazy. The way I explain that, the way I see that is there was such a huge shift. Everyone wants money. Like, I wish I could snap my fingers and I had all the money in the world. It's like, you think you want that? Your nervous system does not want that.
Yeah.
That was so overwhelming. And so what's actually happening is they received something that their nervous system does not have the capacity to hold.
Wow.
And so to self-protect, their nervous system literally pushes it away.
Yeah, they receive all this, but they don't know what to do with it. So they're just making it rain, Benzes to, all the cousins that never talk to them and all that. So that's pretty triumphant way to go about that. I mean, if anything, it's a beautiful example to say that, like, trust the process. You're not supposed to be even entirely, there is no fixed, but there is this process, and it's you are where you need to be right now. Like, that's the other thing too, is leave yourself alone a little bit. As long as every day you're even conscious of that, is pretty beautiful, because there was a moment where you had no idea this was even a thing you had to work on or do, which is phenomenal. I kind of want to hit on like the partner aspect, because you've been booed up for how long now? You married all that?
Oh my gosh. So I've been with my husband. We've been married 6 years and we've been together 16.
Sheesh. Okay, so you have all these ladies listening like, whoa, it's like,
yeah,
that is beautiful, because that is a lot of life, but a lot of shifts. You even just that one moment of your life shifting there, and he's your support system. He may be used to a very different type of Masha that is now shifting into this other Masha, and that's your support system. So like, how do you even how do you have a conversation saying, I'm going through this, I need your support, with a partner, with your partner, or what have you? Like, how did you go about it, or what tips do you have?
Oh my gosh, I could talk on the subject forever. I guess one thing I always like to say, just like to, again, for the sake of transparency, because I think it's important. It's like, I think it's easy, depending, I guess, on your view of being with someone for a long time, but it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, well, that must mean you guys just like chose correctly from the beginning. Maybe you lucked out, right? Like, it's kind of the easier path to have a partner. If you're searching for a partner, sometimes you're like, yeah, that would have been way easier if I just had this person for the last 16 years. Yeah. And I think it's important to be honest. And like, I don't agree, because the truth is, in our relationship of like, let's say the full 16 years, I would say, we talk about this all the time, we've had 5 or 6 different iterations that were basically completely different relationships. Okay. Because we were so drastically different. It was as if there were 6 different relationships, and we kind of had to like renegotiate those terms and do a lot of growing. And there was just always these points where like, can we keep going with this? Like, are we each willing? Because we're kind of growing in different directions as humans do, especially when you're younger, but realistically throughout your life. Do we still want this to like work towards one another and like reconnect? And we've had many points of having to do that, and just choosing that, and then putting in just a shit ton of work into making that happen. And I will say, that point where I made that shift, it was a really difficult point in our relationship, because I don't think I had the tools yet to communicate what was happening.
The Self-Hype Podcast. Hype Podcast.